Let's go ahead and open up the door. If you could, please. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am honored to have you take the time, investing time in yourself with us. So here on Daily with Doc, we provide empowering information that puts into your hands and into your toolbox information that you can do on your own to help yourself, especially when the doctors can't find anything wrong with you. Folks, okay, I can't go there. But anyways, you are in for a treat because we are not chemical deficient. We are nutrient deficient. And when the body is no longer nutrient deficient, there's a lot of things that the body can do unexplainably because of the science of epigenetics. And we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of that science of epigenetics here to guide us as we are all searching for answers. Folks, there's so many things that we've been told that are untrue, incorrect. And we don't have to mask symptoms to get through life. We can actually give the body what it needs so the body can do what it's designed to do so that it can function the way it's designed to function. And we can thrive instead of barely survive. And that's what you're going to learn about today on Daily with Doc. If you are out on any of the platforms, hello, drop us a line, drop us a hello, let us know where you are joining us from. If you're on the replay, type in there replay and where you're joining us from. And if you're here live with us, go ahead and put in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from as well. We love to see the reach of our program, as we as individuals can only do so much. But when we work together as a community and we share information, we can make a greater impact, a positive impact on our communities and our world. So thank you so much for doing all of that. And as a thank you for doing that, we do have a giveaway that you can sign up for first and then do your sharing. Go to dwdgiveaway.com and sign up for our giveaway, where I'm going to be saying thank you to the individuals who share the most, because you are helping us make that greater impact that we are looking for. Now, if you're here live with us, because you're on this screen, if you're here live with us and you'd like to ask a question, go ahead and raise your hand. I will be calling upon the individuals with their hands up. If you would rather just put it into the chat, make sure, and this is a chat for anywhere, make sure that you are including age, weight, height. If you have any conditions that you are on a pharmaceutical for, because just because you're not having those symptoms and they're being masked by a pharmaceutical does not mean that you do not have those issues anymore. So we look at the body as a whole. That is what Dr. Wallach has found to be the fact that everything is connected. So if you've got something going on in one place, chances are it's going on in other places too. It's just that one spot is where you're feeling it or having that discomfort, sensation, dysfunction type stuff going on. Whether it's pain or not, if there's dysfunction, most of the time it's because of nutritional deficiencies somewhere within your diet. And folks, our food, it just does not have it. So without that, I just have to let you know, the FDA requires us to let you know, actually, that this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. It is not meant to, and the products are not meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you give the body what it needs, as proven in the science of epigenetics, your body can do some amazing things. And to help share with us more about what the body does and how nutrition plays into it, I think we're going to be talking about the skin and acne and hormones and all types of stuff, folks. So you're in for a treat. Listen up, get ready to take notes. And the nice thing about it, Dr. Wallach, did you know that we have the replays for this program on dailywithdoc.com? We also have your good foods, bad foods list on dailywithdoc.com. We also have a store that offers the products that Dr. Wallach is going to mention, and what to take, and even a section that shares with you how to take it. So, Dr. Wallach, for those that don't know you, you have a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture and Soil. You have a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. You have 3 postdoctorates in pathology. You've taught nutrition at the college level. And because of your findings, you were fired. So you went back to become a naturopathic physician. And it's not the findings, it was actually that you being fired is what got you into teaching nutrition and then to become a naturopathic physician. Do I got the order right there?
That's correct.
So what about nutrition, Dr. Wallach, really impacts or plays into how our body and our skin is going to function?
Okay. Well, any living thing requires nutrition, whether you're a plant or a worm or a virus, a human being, an elephant, a whale, fish. Everything that lives requires nutrition to function. Just like your car requires gasoline, oil, brake fluid, fluid for your transmission, a coolant, and the radiator. All these things are required so that everything works correctly and so forth. And human beings are no different, okay? And one of the mysterious things is, up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, most people didn't think about running to the store and buying vitamins and minerals, okay, prior to 1882, okay? And prior to that, we were getting our minerals, which make up 2/3 of the 90 essential nutrients, because we used wood as fuel, we used coal as fuel. We would take the wood ashes and coal ashes and put them into our gardens and our fields. And wood ashes and coal ashes were like 95% or more minerals and only 2 or 3% carbon, okay? Well, once we went to electricity at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, suddenly now, all around the world, within weeks, when electricity came out, it was such a fascinating thing. The whole world just flipped over to electricity. And we gave up our source of minerals that we'd had for 3,000 to 5,000 years. We have all these diseases and all these terrible things happening. And people say, well, you know, we never had this before. What is this? Well, it's because you were getting your mineral nutrients from the wood ashes and coal ashes for 3,000 to 5,000 years. When you went to electricity, that all went away, okay? And doctors still haven't figured that out. And so that's why we came out with the book, let's see here, Hell's Kitchen. The book is the transition from wood and coal as fuel to electricity. Now, there's electricity is not the bad guy. It's just a tool, okay? But it's people not knowing what they gave up was the problem. They didn't realize that for 3,000 to 5,000 years, they were getting these minerals, was good for our joints and our skin and our livers and our hearts and our bone marrow and all this kind of stuff. Well, once we went to electricity, that all went away. And nobody paid attention to that, particularly doctors. Oh, just eat well, you've all heard that. Oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals. Well, we didn't have to buy vitamins and minerals all those years for 3,000, 5,000 years because we're using wood and coal as fuel and using the wood ashes and coal ashes as a fertilizer and also as a spice in our foods, getting our minerals that way. Well, once we went to electricity, that all went away, okay? And we're still suffering from that ignorance. I'm not talking about people being stupid. It's an ignorance for lack of information, okay? So that's why we wrote the book, Hell's Kitchen, so you know the transition, okay? And of course, it's one of those things where we're still fighting that transition because doctors are still telling their patients, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need, don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals. And so they contribute to the disaster by saying that. Okay. Doctors like to give drugs to give the patient instant results, something like cortisone, prednisone, painkillers. Oh man, I had this terrible pain in my joint, my knee for years. And the doctor just gave me this wonderful injection I could give myself 2, 3 times a day. And I mean, the pain would go away in 3 minutes. And it was just wonderful. Well, when you get rid of pain with a painkiller, it doesn't solve the problem. It just it temporarily eliminates a symptom. Okay. And this is what's going on here. And so when we talk about what's going on here in today's system, and let's look at the lack of nutrition, and we have arthritis, osteoporosis, we have skin problems, which we're going to talk about today, eczema, dermatitis, alopecia, which is hair loss. You get psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis. Let's see here. Every kind of skin issue you can think of is due to a nutritional deficiency.
Well,
Okay. Acne. Okay, acne is due to a nutritional deficiency. And of course, it's on the face because we have a lot of skin glands in the skin in the face and the scalp and so forth for lubrication and so forth, because the hair is growing and there's hair follicles and all this kind of stuff. And so it's one of those things where acne, and of course, when you're going through puberty, there's hormones involved here, and the hormones are telling you to grow faster and so forth. And if you don't have the nutrients to keep up with this fast growth, you start getting symptoms like acne. You get pimples and infections on your face and neck and head. You lose your hair and all this kind of stuff. These are all just simple nutritional deficiency diseases. Okay. And so this is one of the things we actually have a program, the 90 essential nutrients, get rid of all the bad foods and maximize absorption. And then you want to make sure that you're taking things like the hair, skin, and nails. Hair, skin, and nails. The name of the product tells you what part of your body it works on. Hair, skin. Oh, skin. Oh, there you go. And nails. And so it's one of those things where this is not difficult, but you do have to play the game, so to speak, within the parameters of the body's needs. When you give the body what it needs, the body has a remarkable ability to heal and maintain itself, including the skin. Remember, your skin covers your entire body from head to toe, from shoulder to shoulder, from hip to hip, toes, fingers, back, arms, legs, bottom, every place is exposed to the outside has skin. Okay, so obviously we need a lot of stuff to make the skin happy. Requires 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And if one of those 90 is missing, you're going to get a skin symptom. Okay, and so your skin is a very, very good barometer at telling you what's going on inside your body. And your skin can recover very quickly. You give it the right raw materials and get rid of the bad stuff so you can absorb it. Okay, and a lot of times you may be doing everything right on sort of 90% of the time, but if you're eating the bad stuff, so you cannot absorb this stuff, and it's all going in your mouth, but it's all coming out the other end, and so the septic tank is happy, but you're not happy. Okay, and so again, this is something that's very simple, and some of the more primitive countries, okay, as opposed to the highly developed countries, don't have the problems because they're still using wood and coal as fuel, and they're still using the wood and coal ashes as part of their spices in their food and also in their gardens and their fields as a fertilizer, and they're getting their minerals that way. And that's why people say, well, how are these people in the in the Himalayan mountains? Their life expectancy is 120. Okay, our life expectancy right now is 76. Okay, and they're 120. They don't even have medical doctors. Okay, and so it's because we're missing the nutrients. Your skin needs a lot of nutrition because it's separating you from the outside world, protecting you from heat, protecting you from cold, protecting you from wind and all kinds of parasites and viruses bugs of all kinds. I like the colloidal silver. There's no alcohol in it. You can spray it on your skin. You can spray it in an open wound. There's no alcohol in it. It won't burn, and it will help you fend off bugs that like to eat your skin. Okay, colloidal silver, and I use a lot of that because I get visited by so many people from all over the world, and they want to shake hands and give you a hug and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm protecting myself by using the colloidal silver when I wake up, say 5 or 10 minutes before breakfast, 5 or 10 minutes before lunch, 5 or 10 minutes before dinner time, and 5 or 10 minutes before bedtime. Okay. Now you have to appreciate colloidal silver kills viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast, um, which, gets you in your skin. Well, guess what? The whole idea here is the penicillin only kills, let's see here, what is it? Penicillin kills 2 different types of bacteria. Okay, they're both gram positive. Okay, and we're talking about what? Streptococcus and staphylococcus, whereas colloidal silver kills all viruses, bacteria, fungus, and yeast. Which one's better for you? Penicillin? Okay, or colloidal silver.
Well, Dr. Wallach, how about vitiligo?
Okay, well, vitiligo is a loss of pigment. Okay, and to make pigment, regardless of what race you are, to make pigment, your skin requires raw materials and nutrients to do that. Okay, and if you're missing them, or you can't absorb them because you're eating gluten, wheat, bran, and oats, and drinking carbonated water and that sort of stuff, so you can't absorb minerals and digest food, you're going to have vitiligo. Is one of the symptoms you can have, is a loss of skin color and hair color. When you see somebody, has snow white hair and they're 30, 40, 50 years old, that has nothing to do with age. It has to do with a nutritional deficiency. And without those nutrients, the skin might be able to make hair, but it can't make the pigment that gives color to the hair. Okay.
How about like babies that are born with vitiligo? Is that something that is a nutrient deficiency
Yes.
while it's developed?
Mother was missing stuff early in pregnancy when the skin was forming in the embryo. Okay. And so the baby is paying the price because mother was maybe eating wheat, brown, and oats. And even if she was supplementing, it all comes out the other end because you cannot absorb if you're eating wheat, brown, and oats. Or if you're not eating wheat, brown, and oats, but you're still not getting all the nutrients for a variety of reasons. Babies can be born, there are babies that belong to the Black community are born white. Okay. So they don't have enough of the skin pigment generating equipment working properly.
All right. Well, something that's very common, and I get this question a lot, has to do with teenagers and acne. So they've got so many different types of acne or acne that they've added an extra word to. Um, so when kids are going through puberty and they start getting these outbreaks, is that solely nutrition, or does that have to deal with also some type of the hormone changes that are going on?
Well, the hormone changes drive the rate of growth, okay. And so when your hormones are driving growth, the more growth you have, the more nutrition you need.
Okay.
Okay.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah. So, how about I've heard one theory that when you have acne outbreaks, it's toxins trying to get out through your skin. Is there any truth to that?
Well, that belongs to a science called crapola.
Okay.
Okay. So when you have acne, this has to do with hormones. Hormones are very high, and it tells your skin to do things. And if it doesn't
Mhm.
have all of the right raw materials and everything to do everything just right, you get a collection of worrisome things going on in your skin. And acne is one of them. Again, because your face tends to be oily because of the hair on top of your head and that kind of stuff. And so this is why you get acne mostly on the face, okay? Uh, in the side of your head and neck and that kind of thing, because your body's growing. And if you don't have all the right equipment, it's just like your car. It's made to go 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. But if you don't have oil in it, it's going to burn up.
Mhm. Right. Well, and I know some acne gets to where it's like on the back and causes scarring on the all over. Is there anything that can be done, Dr. Wallach, to support the skin um, after that scarring has occurred?
Well, skin is constantly renewing itself.
Mhm.
And um, in some cases, you can get 50% improvement, 25% improvement. You can't guarantee 100% improvement. Um, we have people who have snow white hair, and they're really working on their skin and their diet and supplement program, and they get a little bit of hair color coming in, but not entirely all over. And that's because they still have some injury in their intestines. They may only be absorbing 2% or 5% or 10% of what's needed to manage the skin and the hair and all this kind of stuff. It's not that you're not taking it in, but you still have all these injuries from many, many years of incorrect diet and that kind of thing.
Right. Or, you got pharmaceuticals that kill off the stuff inside that's supposed to be there and cause damage. Um, so I love the fact, Dr. Wallach, that the body is continually regenerating cells, continually trying to grow in a positive way to keep everything functioning properly.
Well, let me just jump in here for a minute. Now, do you know why doctors like to be dermatologists?
I have never been asked that question before. No, I don't.
Okay. Well, each year in America, just to treat the symptoms of things going on in the skin, weird things going on in the skin, we spend $75 billion a year just to treat the skin. $75 billion a year just to treat the skin.
Wow. That's crazy. Does that include cosmetics?
No, that has nothing to do with cosmetics. This is just cortisone, prednisone, that kind of stuff. Okay. Um, and there's a lot of things that dermatologists use. We're not talking about cosmetics. Okay, we're talking about hormones. We're talking about drugs, all these kind of things, just to treat the symptoms of skin issues. Just to treat the symptoms of skin issues. $75 billion a year.
Well,
So
and then
a
like
doctor
you
sitting down
mentioned,
the street is probably a skin doctor, probably a dermatologist.
so you mentioned cortisone and prednisone. Those are both steroids, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And with the steroid, that blocks the body's natural immune response.
That's correct.
So you're like putting with those, you're putting like, electrical tape over the red warning light on the dash so that you really can't see it, but it's not really taking care of the issue or the underlying cause, is it?
That is correct. And it's the same principle. You're getting, prescriptions for these various drugs that give you, within minutes, the itching and the burning and pain go away. That's problematic over the long haul because you're really not getting to the basic root cause of the problem. That approach is just treating the symptoms.
Right. Whether it's an internal treatment or an external topical.
That's correct.
All right. So Dr. Wallach, let's take a teenage kid, let's say 17-year-old boy, um, who has acne. What would you recommend at 150 pounds, about 5'9"? What would you recommend for them nutritionally to support the body so they can have healthier skin?
Okay. Well, again, get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat and brown oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks and the carbonated water got to go. And then at 100 and see,
50.
150 pounds, yeah, 150 pounds. Let's go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day. 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, which includes the skin, because your skin is like 80% or more connective tissue. It's various layers, but it's connective tissue. Okay. And so you need these nutrients that support maintenance repair of connective tissue. And let's see here. I also like the see here, hair, skin, and nails, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. Okay, they're small bottles, so you need to get a couple of those bottles each month, the hair, skin, and nails. And I also like the Rebound or sports drink. It has 100 nutrients in it. Okay, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. And so you could have 2 doses a day of your Rebound sports drink in addition to your 2 doses of your 90 essential nutrients, and stay away from the bad stuff to maximize absorption and relieve inflammation. The odds are you're going to get some positive results.
All right. Well, Dr. Wallach, I'm working on my first dose of Rebound here. So usually one is very satisfying, refreshing, keep you going, energizing because of the vitamins that are in there, and the minerals. Minerals are energizing too. So people don't realize that, minerals are electrolytes, or many of the minerals, right?
What carries oxygen in your body?
The blood.
And what part of the blood carries the oxygen?
Red blood cells.
And what part of the red blood cells carries oxygen?
Is it the plasma?
Hemoglobin.
The hemoglobin. There we go.
And what is hemoglobin made out of?
There's a lot that goes
Iron.
into hemoglobin.
Iron.
Well, iron is the first thing I thought of, but
It's a mineral.
they're testing me.
Would you look at that? No, I'm not testing you. I'm kind of leading you through this because this is so simple. I mean, even, a 4th grader, what is a red blood cell made out of? Boy, you have iron in there. How come those kids know that? Well, they're taught that, you need iron to make good red blood cells. This is not difficult.
It is not difficult, Dr. Wallach, and I wish that schools taught stuff like this like they used to. Now, not quite so much, but I love the fact that we as parents can introduce additional information to our children to help elevate their learning and to get them on a track that is more focused to how the body and nature really work within this world, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, we want them to thrive. We want them to thrive. And as they become old enough to be parents, we want not only them to thrive, but their offspring to thrive. And it takes an enormous amount of nutrition to pull that off. Okay. And we're talking about, again, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 minutes, 3 fatty acids, 2 or 3 times a day. Okay. This isn't just you do this on the holidays. This is 2 or 3 times every day. Okay. If you're going to keep ahead of the bad guys, including breakdown of tissues and so forth, you need to stay ahead of all this negative stuff, and which means you've got to take in all the good stuff. And kind of being a farm boy, we always like to say, okay, well, if the veterinarian's telling us to give a cup of these alfalfa pellets to these calves with all the vitamins and minerals in them, I want to give 2 cups to the calves. Okay, because I don't want any messing around here. I want to make sure I'd rather have that calf urinate out some extra vitamins and minerals than to be short.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Dr. Wallach, I just glanced over at our chat, and if I would have been paying attention to the chat, I would have known the answers to your questions because we have a really smart audience with us today. with the hemoglobin and the iron and all that good stuff. So I just want to do a shout out and do applause and congratulations to our audience that we have here with us in the Zoom as they're answering these questions. So good job, everybody. And if you're out in the world somewhere, not with us here on the Zoom, and you would like to join us sometime on our Zoom or every day, we have people that join us every day, Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time here on Daily with Doc by going to dailywithdoczoom.com. Now, folks, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them. Tell them thank you for sharing this program with you. And if you have any questions in regards to what's going to be the best fit for you, then make sure that you ask that individual that shared this program with you and said, hey, do you know what Dr. Wallach might recommend for me? If they don't, you can always go to our website or go to one of our channels and do a search through our content and look for those specific things that you might be wanting to address within your own health, and you will find information coming directly from Dr. Wallach on what you can do to help yourself, and then take that information to the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank, then you are more than welcome to give us a call here on Daily with Doc. I have an amazing call team at 855-949-3377. That's 855-949-3377. We also have our website with a contact option. Go to the contact option. You can submit an email, or we can, if you sign up for our newsletter, we also have a block there where you can submit your questions for Dr. Wallach, which we have many questions coming in, Dr. Wallach. And I know that two of our co-hosts here have their hand up with questions from some of their clients or some of these questions that are coming in. So let's go ahead and jump on into questions. Doc, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Let's first go with Marilyn. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute yourself. And what questions do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
Actually, I have two personal testimonials that I want to say. And one happened today. My husband's had a stroke for 3 years. And the only thing different, I take all the protocols, is the last month, I've been giving him additional niacin. And I've been learning through this program and through Dr. Wallach that it's the precursor for all your neurological functions. And since he had a stroke, that's something he really needs. Well, he wouldn't take it. He was furious because of the niacin flush. He was getting super, super red and hot and itchy. Well, that Dr. Wallach said that means he needs it all the more. So I thought, well, how am I going to get him to take it? So I started to put a tablet of niacin in some water, dissolved it. So he drinks now that water throughout the day. So he's getting his niacin. And today he gets up out of bed and he normally can just barely get to the wheelchair. He actually stood up straight and made a 360 and backed into the wheelchair from the bed. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, my mouth dropped open. And I said, oh my gosh, what did you just do? And he says, I don't know. I just felt like doing it. So I think the niacin is making some neurological connection for him. Okay, so that was my one testimonial. Then the other one is my skin has been reversing. It is just, it's like the fountain of youth. And it's because of this protocol. Now, I've been increasing a lot the Beyond Tangerine and the OsteoFX. I take extra, like I take even an extra bottle of minerals. The more I take, the better my skin gets. And I've also been increasing collagen, and this is daily. Then I take Longevity's fatty vitamin C. I put it over my whole body to absorb anything I want to take extra into the body, because you have to have a fatty instead of the water soluble. And I've been splashing copper on top of the fatty vitamin C. And then I've been consuming dark chocolate. I found out the ORAC score is like 8,000 if the cocoa is 70% or higher. And then I've also, one other thing I've been taking is Longevity's HGH complex, which helps increase melatonin in the body, which is the #1 free radical fighting molecule in the body for fighting free radicals. And the skin is it's just unbelievable. I have people come up to me and saying, "What are you doing? You look so much younger." And this is even in the last month. So I've been doing those 5 things, and it's just been phenomenal. So I thank you, Dr. Wallach. I mean, I used to have acne. I had terrible acne because I had sugar. I consumed. I could have ate anything. I was from a well-to-do upper middle class family. I could have ate anything, but I consumed sugar, and no one told me. But now I don't have any acne. I haven't had any in years. But Dr. Wallach's protocols, I thank you. I really do.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. It's a beautiful story and beautiful skin. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for those 2 testimonials. And that would be the niacin plus, I believe, that she is mentioning in regards to adding into her husband's protocol. That's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. I'm happy for James as well. Let's go to Sherry. Sherry, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Doc, I have a couple of questions for you today. And I loved Marilyn's testimonial. We could all give our own personal testimonies because we've all been so blessed by your work. The first is a male. He's 72 years old, 5'11", 230 pounds. He has severe back pain. He cannot stand up for very long. His doctors have run every test possible and they cannot find anything. What can we do for him?
Okay, you need to ask him how many times he wakes up at night to urinate. Once, 3 times, 5 times? Because it could be his skull squeezing the spinal cord. Okay, the spinal cord is formed in the brain, comes out of the back of the skull. Okay, you get that book and the CD set in the book, it's all in your head. I love that page where it has a picture of the brain and the spinal cord going down towards splits the sciatica at the sacrum, right and left side. But when you have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord up here, you're getting all this stuff going on south of there. Okay, and so this is very, very telling. Okay, and so again, you need the 200 plus pounds. I'd have him get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat and brown oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and also carbonated water got to go. And then I would take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, the full dose thing twice a day, 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. That's going to help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, including the skull and the vertebrae and the lower back, and so forth. And let's see here. Also, he needs the rebound or sports drink, 230 something pounds. He can take 2 doses of the rebound a day. Okay. And that's going to give him more minerals. All right. And more energy and so forth. And let's start there. Okay.
Thank you. The second is a female, 62 years old. She's 5'7", weighs 125 pounds, very active, teaches dance as well as plays pickleball. She was diagnosed with ulcerative proctitis.
What?
She's taking ulcerative proctitis in the rectum, ulcerated rectum. I looked it up. That's what it said.
Okay.
Ulcerated rectum.
She doesn't have a prostate.
No, no prostate. Just an ulcerated rectum.
Okay.
She's diagnosed. She takes oral medication. She didn't say what it was, but she also takes Marilac 2 times a day for chronic constipation.
Okay, let's stop there for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. She's getting rid of all the bad stuff. We've gone over that so many times here, but quickly. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat and brown oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water. And we do have the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It has a good food, bad food list in there and 300 pages of safe recipes and so on. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And then at 125 pounds, you want her to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, half a dose of everything twice a day, 1 bottle a month of the MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes bone itself. Then she also needs 1 dose at least of rebound or sports drink during the day for energy and more minerals and so on. Okay. And let's go there. Okay.
Okay.
And let's see.
Thank you so much.
If she has pain,
Yes.
if she has pain, you know, in her neck or her back, we do have the CM cream, which she can apply to those painful areas, and she'll get anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of pain relief. Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, you bet.
All right. Thank you, Sherry, for bringing those questions. And Dr. Wallach, Charlotte here with us has a question. She wants to know if you would recommend going to a chiropractor that does neck adjustments to help with spinal pinching or the osteoporosis of the brain. So that would be osteoporosis of the skull.
Yeah. And of course, that can give some temporary relief, but doing a manipulation doesn't regrow the skull. It requires the nutrients. Okay. And again, we're looking at per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 bottle a month of the MSM, collagen peptides, scoop of that with a morning drink, scoop of the evening drink. And they can do, if she got good insurance, she get an MRI, not an X-ray, but an MRI. There's no radiation. And, you know, you get that book in the CD, it's all in your head, page number 6 in the front. It's got 2 pictures, one of a normal skull, which is a 1/4 of an inch thick. There you go at the top. And the bottom one is a skull osteoporosis. It's 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And that's not bone. That's connective tissue, that's scar tissue, because the bone is gone. Okay. And you can see where that'll be squeezing. You can flip over to the next page, I think it is. Where a picture, let's flip it to another page, flip another page. I want to show this, the brain, the skull, the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, it's in there.
This one?
There you go. And you can see everything below the chin. Okay, you got stuff going on in the neck. Okay, in the back, getting up at night to urinate 5 or 8 or 10 times, balance problems, ringing in the ears, all this stuff, irregular heartbeat. That's all due to the skull squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and the spinal cord. Okay, and doctors didn't know anything about this. And so this is why we wrote the book and have the CD. So this is a compilation between Dr. Milan, Rebecca, and myself. We have the book, we have the CD, it's a set, and it covers about 135 different diseases and symptoms that you get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. And so doctors know nothing about this. They do not get taught this in school. I was kind of amazed when I was doing all these autopsies. I'm seeing the results on the autopsy table, but when you look at the clinical records that came along with the body, they never mentioned anything about what was going on in those areas. So that means they have no earthly idea what's going on.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And we're just going to buzz through some of these questions that are coming in. We have Anne, and Anne's question, starts out, last week you recommended my husband and go up his Gluco Gel to 5 3 times a day, and MSM 3 times a day for his arthritis. I'm happy to report that he's feeling great. And as he said, this stuff really works. So maybe it's to take care of my cranky knees. How much Gluco Gel and MSM would somebody who is 5'6" and 130 pounds take in addition to the brain and heart pack? How much MSM would you recommend for Anne at 130 pounds, Dr. Wallach, and Gluco Gel?
Well, she's right at that cusp. If she has symptoms, I'd go with 2 bottles of MSM, so you could take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, at dinner time. Okay. And you want to kind of err on the side of a little bit too much as opposed to not enough. Okay. And the glucogel, you can also take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. That was our original collagen product. Okay. Was the glucogel. We added that to our Healthy Start pack, and it became the Healthy Bone and Joint pack for Theo Ratliff. Okay. So that's where that came from.
Gluco Gel is my friend, Dr. Wallach. That's what I started with as well, in addition to the 9 essential nutrients and all the nutrition that's found in the Pink Pack Plus, which has the liquid nutrition, including the Gluco Gel. So I absolutely love Gluco Gel. And Keith has a question here. So Keith is 6 foot, 207 pounds. He never wakes up during the night to urinate. In 2019, he had his prostate removed by robotic assisted surgery. There was some nerve damage during the procedure. Post-op PSA test results have been undetectable until recently. The test results in March of 23 had a 0.113. August was 0.222. This caused a decline for life insurance policy. So what can be done, Dr. Wallach, when you've got a PSA that's elevating and no prostate with nerve damage?
Well, there may be a little piece of prostate gland that was left behind. Okay. And so that's not unusual. When they start doing surgery and stuff like that, they just whack things out and maybe leave a piece the size of a dime in there or something like that. So that's all possible. Okay. At any rate, 207 pounds, needs to take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, full dose or everything twice a day. I'd get to 2 bottles a month of MSM, so you take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, at dinner time. I also want to take the Rebound or a sports drink. You could take 2 doses of that a day. Also, the anti-inflammatory stuff would be good. And we're talking about things like what would you recommend for anti-inflammation?
Well, the MSM is really good for anti-inflammation. Essential fatty acids help with anti-inflammation. We've got the Stay Restored from the Stay Natural line that has herbs in there that contribute to helping with the inflammation. Big thing, Dr.
Let's go with a couple of doses a day of the Stay Restore. Okay. And the odds are there's a little piece of prostate left in there. Okay. And that's not unusual when they're doing surgery. They're in a hurry and whack, 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 and they're out of there. And they leave a little piece, and that's what goes on.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And let's see, what is our time? Kiri has a question here. Yep, it is time. Unfortunately, folks, we did not get to all the questions. We thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, as I know you have to get to your next program. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and if I could get all of my co-hosts on with me, I do know some of the people that are asking questions. I will make sure that we get answers to those questions to you. And folks, if you would like to send in your questions via email, please do so. Go to dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option, and we'll be able to get a response to you from either myself or one of my co-hosts based on Dr. Wallach's recommendations. If you've got some unique things going on, we always ask Dr. Wallach and make sure that we get what he would recommend. It's not us recommending, it's us using Dr. Wallach's recommendations for people who have symptoms that match yours from the past. So I just want to do a big shout out and thank you to all of my team in our black t-shirts, where we are rising up, going big. to be able to share this knowledge that we have with others. And this was just one of the friendly competitions that Longevity offered to the distributors, the coaches who are associated with them. As we are sharing, Longevity rewards us not only in the fact that, well, Longevity doesn't reward us in the fact that we're able to help people and just have that joy in it, but we do get thank you checks, and then they run competitions, and we're able to do the friendly competitions and earn things like cool t-shirts and trips and all that good stuff. And folks, you know, doing something that you enjoy and being able to prosper from that is not a bad thing, especially whenever you're able to, yeah, we see it, Marilyn, go rising up and going big. But, you know, trips where we can take trips with our family and we continue to learn, we continue to take the energy that we get from the nutrition because it's within us, and then it's just exuberating out from us, and we just all get together and have a great time. And if that's something that you think that you might be interested in being part of, we invite you to look into having your own like Longevity distributorship, folks. It's like having a franchise, just different wording, where you can make recommendations, get the thank you checks, and people are buying from your own store instead of going to a big box store that has inferior products that don't work. That's why supplements get a bad name, is because you just buy all these things really cheap, and they're not in a form that the body can actually use, nor are they blended so that they work together. And I love the fact that Longevity has taken the guesswork out of it. Dr. Wallach, with his formulations that are offered through Longevity, they do it in a way that they synergistically work together in a form that the body can actually absorb. Because you get something in the body that the body can't absorb, or in the wrong form, it can be toxic, yes. But that's where all of the science and the great formulators with Longevity have taken that part that we don't have to worry about out. So I love it. I've benefited from it. I know my co-hosts have benefited from it. And today we have on with us Ruth Ellen Sanchez, my executive production manager, as she does all these things in the background, folks, more than most of us know, and making sure that everything is running smoothly. We have Albert, who is joining us from South Africa and just helping to spread the news down farther south. You know, you say down under, you think Australia, but when I say down south, I mean South Africa, folks. So thank you so much, Albert, as you are helping let people in and keep an eye on the chat. We have Marilyn, who we call Fingers, who's doing dictation for us and taking the recommendations that Dr. Wallach recommends for individuals as the questions are asked, and putting them in the chat here, which is one of the biggest pluses of being live with us on Daily with Doc, zoom.com. We have Sherry, who is also keeping an eye on the chat, on the cameras, out watching different platforms and helping to bring those questions in. And we have our assistant executive production manager, AJ, who is getting the message out on even more and more platforms, folks, so that we can meet you where you're at and make sure that the information is getting out there and is findable. That was a big thing that we were able to tackle this past week, and making sure that when people do a search for Daily with Doc or Dr. Wallach or Daily with Doc and Becca, that they're actually finding us and not somebody else. But folks, we are a family. We work together, and we just invite you to feel the difference that the 90 essential nutrients can make. These are the nutrients that Dr. Wallach has been instrumental in formulating, not just some minerals off the counter, because they're not created the same. Come and feel the difference. My name is Becca Dukes. As the hostess of this program, thank you for investing your time into yourself, and we invite you to share this information with somebody you know and care about. Until next time, bye for now.